this 1.5-hour little session will change the way you play. So some people say to me, if you could only do one class for a group of intermediate musicians, what would you teach them? So I would teach them what we're going to do today. Because you can literally play music for years, and that's if this is all you know. Now I tell you, after you've been here all these years, some of you. All right, so here it is. So Greg's going to write on the board the most important chord progression in music. And we're only going to address it as the key of C right now, because piano players, that's the key they play. All right, guitars and other instruments might be different, but this one, we're only going to stay to the key of C. Now, all right, every kid that walks into this store hears this. They all know how to do it, right? I never learned. All right, and then you got to find a partner that knows the other part. This part. But what they don't know is there's thousands of other songs that can go with that. All right. Now, the kids and the adults that think they know how to play the piano because they can do that, all know that just goes with a lot of stuff. You can just sit and noodle and play. What they don't realize is they're playing a chord progression that is very well known everywhere. Everybody knows it. Musicians know it. Do you ever wonder how people can go on a stage, 5 guys that never played together ever, and just sit down and play? And then the leader will go, change keys, 1, 4, 5, 1, 6, 2, 5, 1, blah, blah, blurt out a bunch of numbers, and all the guys know what to do? Well, now you'll know in 1 minute. All right, how many notes in the scale? 8. So write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here we go. 8 notes in the scale, correct? C. Now, we're gonna make a C scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. All right. Chords come from scales. You can build a single chord from a scale, right? Which we're not talking about today. Now we're going to find out how composers come up with the chords for a song. Do you ever wonder that? You open up a song and you look at it and you go, how did they get those chords? Where did they come from? Well, they came from the key or the scale. Remember, the word key and the word scale means the same thing. Say that. The word key and the word scale mean the same thing. All right. If I say play a song in the key of C, it means the composer used the C scale to write the song. Got it?
Got it.
All right. Now in college, we're going to college now. They use big fancy words for each step of the scale. The first one is called the tonic. T-O-N-I-C. And you don't really need to know this, but if someone tries to figure out what you're learning either on the internet or in the class, you're going to say, I learned that the first step of the scale is called the tonic. All right, what does tonic mean? T-O-N-I-C in Italian. All right, something you put with gin? Okay, it means tone. The C scale, the key of C, it's the tone on which the song is based. Okay? So step number 1 of the scale is the most important note. That's the tone on which the song is based. So if we make a chord out of number 1, how do you spell a C chord? Remember? C-E-G. And if you don't know, refer to the Bisquick tutorial, and that will tell you that you need to know how to spell those. No, write it this way.
Oh, you want to do
Yeah. C-E-G. C-E-G is a C major chord, right?
Right.
Step number 1, and this isn't always the case, but in this case it will always be the case. Step number 1, if you make it into a chord, will always be major. Okay, so put a big capital M up above there. The tonic, and in college they make it a Roman numeral, big capital number 1. All right? I know. I never could figure out why they just didn't write a dumb 1 there, but no, it has to be Roman numerals.
To be different.
Yes. Now, how do you spell a D chord? Let's make step number 2 into a chord. D, F sharp, A. Write that down. D, F sharp, A. All right. Key of C has no sharps and no flats, right?
Right.
I cannot have that sharp in that chord
Oh.
because there is no F sharp in the key of C. So I have to erase the F sharp. So if you flat the third step of a chord, what happens to it?
Minor.
Becomes a minor. So erase the F sharp. The second step of a scale, if you make it into a chord, becomes a minor. All right? Do you understand why? Because you can't have that F sharp. How do you spell an E chord? E, G sharp, and B. Now, you learned your Bisquick, right? I told you it's going to be really important. Now, you get rid of the G sharp, and what happens to that chord?
Minor.
Becomes a minor also. Number 4 is FAC. That is a major chord. That chord is called the subdominant. Okay?
Why?
I'll tell you in a minute. Number 5 is GBD. That is also a major, and that is called the dominant. Dominant means the next most important chord. Tonic, number 1 is the most important. Chord number 5, and that's how musicians will address it, as chord number 5 or the dominant chord. In jazz and blues, they'll call it 5. In classical, they'll call it dominant. Okay? 4 is called subdominant because it's under the dominant, or chord number 4. So jazz musicians will say 1, 4, 5. Classical will say tonic, subdominant, and dominant. 1, 4, 5 appeals to me. Okay? All right. Number 6, A, C sharp, E. Can't have that C sharp, so it's also a little M, a little minor. 7 is a diminished chord. It's B. I'll talk about it. B, D sharp, and F sharp. You can't have either of those sharps. So that chord is diminished, but we're going to not use it. Only 1 through 6 is what we'll use. So you erase 7 and 8, just totally gone. All right. So in the key of C, if I ask you to tell me what are the major chords, what will you say?
1, 4, 5.
1, 4, 5. And what are they? C, F, and G. And that's why that's the first 3 chords you ever learn on a piano, because key of C is the easiest key. Those are the 3 chords that are in it. Learn this. It's kind of cool, actually, because it works every time. Chord number 1 can go anywhere. It is said that the second chord of any song is the hardest chord to find. Once you find the second one, the rest is a roll. You're on a roll. All right. Chord number 2 goes to 5. And for those of you that are more advanced, it's usually, this chord is almost always the 7th chord. Okay? Chord number 3 goes to 6. Chord number 4 goes to 1 or 5. Chord number 5 goes to 1. And chord number 6 goes to 2. Now, I'll tell you what. This is amazing because it's very predictable and it just works. So watch. Let's get rid of this. Now it's just logic. It doesn't even take, you don't even have to think to do this. You just have to match the letters. So it's kind of like Sudoku, you know, you just write in the numbers and hope they fit. This one you'll know they fit because there's the recipe right there. Okay, so chord number 1. Chord number 1 can go anywhere. So chord number 1, you can pick 3, 2, 4, 5, or 6 as your second chord. Once you pick your second chord, the rest of it is all logic. All right, so watch. C. So play a C chord. Dorothy, pick a number between 2 and 6.
4.
4. This is going to be a short chord progression. She picked 4. So F will be the second chord. Look over there
5.
1 or 5. I don't want to go back to C because then we'll be done.
Oh,
So
that's right.
let's go to 5. G. And where does 5 go? Back to 1, which is C. There it is. That's we just played part of a blues progression.